The spirit of cricket. To some, it is the very heart of the sport itself, an exalted unspoken code, born in the village greens, a light breeze blowing from over yonder rolling hills, egg and cress sandwiches in picnic baskets, the vicar keeping score, the local drunk appointed square leg umpire, and the wildly optimistic hopes that a taste of responsibility might turn his life around. This is one version of what cricket is about. To others, the spirit of cricket is Downton Abbey nonsense. Cricket as played in the gullies and maidans and whatever the Australian version of maidan is. Ground? That can't be right. Is a sport in which no quarter is given, and Jeff Thompson sometimes turns up to a great cricket game and puts half the top order in hospital. Hi, I'm Fidel Fernando, guy who just got kicked out of the previous Maidan we were shooting in, but who has come to Mumbai, the new home of cricket, in order to shoot this bit, because although the pollution is definitely worse here than the other place that has a claim to being the home of cricket, the Vadapav is way better. So the first thing I wanted to do when trying to understand the spirit of cricket is to try and get a grip on the history of the term. Doing a quick sweep through newspapers in Australia and Britain from the 1800s, became obvious that the exact phrase spirit of cricket just tended to mean enthusiasm for the game. And yet there's also long been this idea that the particular way cricket is played has moral value beyond the winning and losing of the game.
Look at this opinion column from 1897 from the Maitland Weekly, a New South Wales newspaper discussing Ranjit Shinji's love of cricket, and I read in the original old-timey English. It will be admitted that a game that is as effective as many policemen, as beautiful as music, a moral teacher, a maker of happy and energetic men, a contributor to the gaiety of the nation, an agent in empire building, deserves Prince Ranjit Shinji's eulogies.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. That felt a little bit like cultural appropriation to me too. Maybe the most famous example of cricketing morality in the old-timey times came during the Bodyline Ashes series, where Australian Bill Woodfull remarked that only one team is playing cricket, when England had started absolutely peppering the living daylights out of the Australia batters with bouncers, while they packed the leg side field until it was basically a mosh pit. So what England were doing was not against the rules of cricket per se, but they were seen to be endangering helmetless Aussie batters in their frustration at not being able to get Donald Bradman out. And whenever Aussie batters were hit during that tour, there was huge uproar in the crowds and in newspapers. The thing was so big that it became a diplomatic incident and created a substantial wrinkle in Aussie-England relations. So much so that they almost didn't continue to dominate cricket together to the exclusion of many other nations. The point is that while maybe it wasn't called the spirit of cricket always, there does seem to have been this idea that cricket's values transcend its laws, that there is something about the game that teaches you about how you should live your life, that cricket subscribes to niceties that other uncouth sports don't. That is, until the lawmakers took it upon themselves to include the spirit of cricket within the laws. So to understand more about this intersection of laws and spirits, I got in touch with Marylebone Cricket Club, which is based at a place called Lord's Cricket Ground, which for those of you who don't know, is like your standard gully that you would play cricket in, but way bigger and grass covered, though in a really heartwarming tribute to street cricket, they've made the playing surface quite uneven. The MCC, though, are the keepers of the laws of the game. Though I'd assumed that the spirit of cricket existed as we presently understand it since before Test cricket began, in the laws at least, the spirit doesn't actually get a mention until 1980. It first appeared in Section 42, which is the section that deals with player conduct. What it said was, the captains are responsible at all times for ensuring that players conducted within the spirit of the game, as well as within the laws. Now, while what the spirit of the game was not codified at the time, the MCC fixed that by getting in Colin Cowdery and Ted Dexter to come in the 90s and write the preamble to the laws. If you don't know much about Cowdery and Dexter, they were both incredible batters, greats of their age. But Cowdery learned his cricket from servants in India during the 1930s. Dexter was the son of a wealthy businessman and was often called Lord Ted for his aloof and aristocratic demeanor. Made huge contributions to the game, no doubt, but they're not exactly salt of the earth, men at the coalface, ears to the ground types. And they certainly wouldn't be hanging out with the likes of you with your untucked shirt and you're having to pay rent and your lack of generational wealth. You know what? Get out of here. No one wants to see that.
And even Cowdery and Dexter never quite put their finger on what the spirit of cricket means. The early 2000s versions of the preamble, which carries the most detailed examples of what is and isn't in the spirit of cricket, suggests that respect for opponents, your own team, and the role of umpires counts as the spirit of cricket. Against the spirit of cricket are things like disputing an umpire's decision, abusing an opponent or an umpire, or indulging in sharp practice, which, get this, includes appealing knowing that the batter is not out.
Okay, but this is very plainly something that almost all wicketkeepers do. When the ball goes narrowly down the leg side, they appeal to try and trick the umpire into not giving the wide. I mean, these guys look like they do it. Those guys over there definitely do.
And then even the MCC made changes to the preamble to the laws and took out specifics of what the spirit of cricket might mean. After this gutting of the preamble, it only really mentions respect, congratulating the opposition, thanking officials at the end of the match, and friendship.
And we've come now to really what the heart of the spirit of cricket is. Because, I mean, what kind of eat, pray, love BS is this? Is it possible that in the softening of the language over the last couple of decades, cricket's rulemakers are tacitly acknowledging that it is not that useful a concept? Is it possible that as cricket aims to grow globally, the idea of the spirit of cricket needs to be left behind? Because can you really expect kids learning the game in Papua New Guinea or the Netherlands or even Rwanda, wherever, to subscribe to the same unwritten moral codes that Victorian gentle bros did? The spirit of cricket is a completely nebulous concept and can be made to mean what you want when it's convenient to you. To me, the spirit of cricket is Arak, and I would love for everybody who comes to watch a game in the Maidans of St. John's Wood to subscribe to the same idea of spirit of cricket. But as that does not seem likely to happen, perhaps the best thing we can do is to leave this idea in the past.